Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the Toldi III 43M. It is a Tier 3 German light premium tank. It's the 2015 Christmas gift tank, so you can pick it up for the next week or so if you're watching this video close to the date it was released. You just need to log in at least on the EU server and win one game. Not sure about other servers. Now technically it's actually a Hungarian tank, and there are rumors that Wargaming might be adding a Hungarian tank branch to the German tech tree in the future. And if that's true, this is, I suppose, a small taste of what's to come. The Toldi III is Hungarian because it was built in Hungary. The tank is actually based on the Landsvert L60, which is a Swedish tank, and about 300 Toldis were built under license from Landsvert. There are a few variants of the Toldi built, and this one is actually the last variant that was ever built of the Toldi. It was built around 1943. Now, historically, it's supposed to have about 40 millimeters of armor on the upper glacis and about 40 millimeters of armor on the gun mantlet. However, in-game it seems to only have about 35 millimeters, and it's also supposed to have spaced armor over the tracks, which it doesn't have in-game. But anyway, there's a lot more history regarding this tank, but I'll probably save that for a review I'm planning to do in the future. This is the Ace Tanker. It was played on the day the tank was released. We are here on Winter's Himmelsdorf, and you'll notice I'm in a Tier 4 game. Now that's not bad because this tank doesn't get special matchmaking, and it will see Tier 5s. Now my very first game in this tank was in a Tier 3 game, and I thought, yeah, it's okay. It's okay in a Tier 3 game. And then my very next game was a Tier 5 game with 5 KV-1s on the enemy team, and it sucked. So this tank is definitely not very good against higher tier tanks. And even though a lot of people seem to be praising the gun, I'm not going to be doing that. So just very quickly, what's good about this tank? Well, like in real life, I suppose, historically speaking, this tank had very good signal range. It was used as a reconnaissance vehicle during World War II, and the signal range is a positive for the tank. It also gets very, very good gun depression. The top speed is about 40 kilometers an hour, so it's not bad. The acceleration is not amazing, but it's okay. And the penetration on the gun is okay if you get it into Tier 4 and Tier 3 games. Unfortunately, you don't. You get it into Tier 5 games, at least. I seem to get it into a lot of Tier 5 games. But the gun itself is underwhelming. As I say, a lot of people seem to be praising the gun. So you get 64 millimeters of penetration, 45 damage with the standard AP on the 40 millimeter, and that's great, absolutely great against Tier 3s and against Tier 4s, or at least some Tier 4s. And you get 80 millimeters of penetration and 45 damage with the premium ammo APCR, and that's fine against Tier 4s, and again, it's fine against Tier 3s, but as I say, this tank sees Tier 5s, and against KV-1s, you're going to be firing a lot of premium ammo, and you may have problems damaging them. So, yeah, good gun depression, good signal range, and decent mobility, but that's pretty much it for the strengths of the tank. Other than that, I'm finding the tank very, very underwhelming, and I'm not that impressed. Also, the DPM, it should be pointed out, is absolutely dreadful. The DPM is absolutely terrible, especially for a Tier 3 tank. Most other Tier 3 tanks have the DPM on this tank beaten. So while the penetration might be good top tier, the alpha damage is okay. When it's not top tier, the penetration is lacking, and as I say, the DPM is lacking in almost every single matchup you get it into. However, it's not the worst. I will say it's not the worst gift tank Wargaming have given out. But anyway, this is my first Ace Tanker. We're here on Winter's Himmelsdorf. I'm in a Tier 4 game, so not the best matchmaking for the tank, but it's okay. We're going up the hill. We're going up the hill, and I'm going to be using this gun depression here. Very, very good gun depression. And we're just poking out, looking for shots. And we get one in. Now, I suppose in hindsight, this was not an amazing game. It really isn't an amazing game, but it was good enough to get an ace, and I'm happy with that. And I probably won't be playing the tank again until it's time to do its review, but at least the ace is out of the way. No pressure to keep playing the tank. And as I say, it's a gift tank, and I suppose if you're a tank collector, you're probably going to keep your hands on this tank, and it's not the worst. It's not the worst premium tank that Wargaming have given out for free, but it's definitely not the best. So it's really up to you. Play a few games in it. If you enjoy it, keep it. And if you don't, sell it. There's really no point in holding on to this tank. Most other tier 3 light tanks, at least for the Germans, are better. And, you know, when you put it into context, I mean, you know, a T-15, the tier 3 premium German light, would tear this thing apart. But we're sneaking in, we're getting shots in here. The aim time is not the best, but you can see the penetration's good enough. And this guy completely mistimes when he pulls out. We get some free damage on the Covenanter. But you can see that even though we've got great penetration, we're struggling to go through this V8 H short. I don't know, is that a problem? Do you guys have the same tank name problems with the new Czech tanks? I'm not sure. So it's quite difficult to see what the actual name of the tank is. You can see we're bouncing a Matilda with her turret armor. And this is where the problem is. This is a big problem because in one of my early games, you know, I was up 1v1 versus a Matilda. And even the premium ammo just wasn't good enough. I died, even though I started the battle with more hit points than the Matilda. I died because I just could not pen him. I'm firing premium ammo into the side of a Matilda. And you can see that we're bouncing. So I get my driver knocked out. We're bouncing with premium ammo on the side of a Matilda, and you can imagine how bad this is against KV-1s. And we're not done. I mean, we had to fire premium. I'm switching back to regular now for this Covenanter. Covenanter's just emptied his clip for some reason, which means I could just pop out and get a shot here. But you see the reload is not amazing. We've just been flanked by a Lux, so using a tank wreck as cover. Now, I was planning to go back and deal with this Lux, but then I noticed the Matilda was turning around, so I figured the Lux is going to have problems with that Matilda. Let's go back to work on this Covenanter. Oh, and the other big problem with this tank I absolutely hate is the fact that the turret traverse is bloody awful. Missed that shot there, but turret traverse is horrible. Reload is not amazing for the alpha damage, so yeah, the tank really hasn't impressed me, but we've picked up our first kill. We're on 373 damage, and now I've got a DW2 and a Matilda, and I've switched back to premium ammo, and I've got the side of a Matilda, and a bounce. Now, technically, I should be hitting below the tracks, and I do there, but again, it's a bounce, hitting below the spaced armor. Decide to go for the DW2. Now I'm shooting into the spaced armor, which is absolutely stupid of me. It's been a while since I played lower tier. Get penned by the DW2, put one into the side of the turret on the Matilda. But firing premium ammo, struggling, and as I say, my own fault here. I should have been firing below the spaced armor strip on the Matilda. Probably would have had more joy. But it was very, very early in the morning, and I wasn't exactly wide awake. So, doing a little bit more damage, we're up to 500 damage. Team takes out the Matilda. And now you're going to get to see the engine in action. So, yeah, not a lot. You'll notice there weren't a lot of Toldis in this game. That's because, as I say, it was played very early in the morning before a lot of people had even figured out that the tank was available. So, not very many Toldis. Later on in the day, I played another couple of games in the Toldi, and basically our team and the enemy team were just completely all Toldis, but this is the first ace, so it has to go up on the channel. But I made a bad decision to come down that side of the hill. If I'd come down the other side, I would have had an arty kill. Just one tank left on the enemy team. You can see we're doing 40 kilometers an hour, so the top speed is not terrible. The traverse is not terrible. They're pretty average on the tank. And that's pretty much it. Not enough speed to get over and do any more damage. So very, very basic game, but as I say, it was the first ace. So yeah, nothing amazing. We didn't even finish first. We came second with 617 XP for an ace on the Toldi. I imagine as time goes on, it'll probably get a little bit harder to get an ace in this tank, but 511 damage, 1 kill, I'm not complaining. I just don't see myself playing very many games in this tank, at least until it's time to do the review. The tank really didn't impress me. We fired 25, we only hit 20, and most of those shots were at close range, so yeah, it's the aim time, the accuracy is not very good. I suppose it's okay for a tier 3, but I didn't like it. I've been playing a lot of high tier recently, and gun handling not very good, and of the 20 hits we only penned 12, and I was firing a little bit of premium ammo, and we still only managed to pen 12. So a lot of people are talking about how good the penetration is on this gun. It's not. I think the penetration is only good if you're top tier. It's okay in a tier 4 game, but as I say, this tank doesn't get special matchmaking. It will see tier 5s, and the gun is going to struggle against a lot of tier 5s, even heavily armored tier 4s. So yeah, we received 4 hits. We actually managed to bounce 2 with with our turret. So the turret armor, I need to go into Tanks GG and have a closer look at this armor profile. I haven't done that yet, but the turret armor seems to be okay, at least in the games I've played with it. We damaged 5, destroyed 1, did 56 assistance damage, and because we were firing premium, we only made a profit of 7,581 credits with a premium account. We would have just about broken even with a standard account. So yeah, it wasn't my first game of the day either. Yeah, I'm not impressed, guys. My best advice for this is log in, win the tank, get the tank, play a couple of games in it, and if you like how it handles, if you like how it feels, keep it. And if you don't, and you're not a tank collector, then it's a free garage slot at least. Wargaming, at least they're trying it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.